Hi guys, Dr. Drwendydearborne here with another episode of Food Beyond Its Nutrition. Well guys, on the plate today I have grilled salmon or broiled salmon with ginger in a honey oyster sauce glaze. Absolutely delicious. This is one of my signature dishes, and this is a dish that can be prepared and on the table in less than 30 minutes. Okay guys, to get started on my signature salmon dish, and this really is one of my signature salmon dishes, and as I said before, it is so simple yet so delicious. So to get started with this, you need a whole fillet of salmon. Well, it's just me and my husband, so I'm not actually going to cook the whole fillet. And of course you can get portions and do this with portions also. So this is about a 2.5 pound fillet. Usually when I have company, I cook something that's infinitely bigger. I have another cutting board and it fits that infinitely bigger. But because it's just my husband and myself, I just want to give you a good showing and you know how to do this. So I'm only going to cook half of this today. I don't eat leftover fish. I don't like it, so I don't eat it. So that being said, I have my salmon. It's filleted. If you like to eat the skin, you need to make sure that you take the scales off or have your butcher do that for you. I did that before we got started, rinsed it off. It's important to keep your seafood cold. It cooks better from cold. All seafood does. Whereas meat's the opposite. Meat actually cooks a lot better if you allow it to warm up slightly. So that being said, I have my garnish. Okay, I've got my spring onions, I have some red jalapenos or Fresno peppers, and I have some lemons here. It's very important when you are cooking meat and or seafood that you do not cross-contaminate. Right guys, so I'm gonna give me salmon a little cut. I think I'm gonna cut about here. I'll give it a cut about here, just straight across. All right, and this is the piece. This is sort of like the center cut. See all of this? This is the center cut, and this would be the tail. Okay, so we're gonna use the center cut today. I have all the herbs and spices and the soy sauce and everything that we're gonna need. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is to actually make the glaze. Now I made the glaze using a vegetable stir-fry sauce. You can use teriyaki sauce, you can use soy sauce. This has a couple of teaspoons or 3 teaspoons of honey, and like I said, because I'm changing up the recipe, I will actually give you the exact amounts in the recipe below, and or it will be in the downloadable recipe on the website. So I've got a couple of teaspoons of soy sauce here, and I have a couple of teaspoons of the vegetarian oyster sauce, and it's a mushroom soy sauce. It's a thick mushroom soy sauce, and this is the glaze that will go on at the end of the cook time, but we'll get to that. So you mix that up and you set it aside. I also have here a couple of teaspoons or a teaspoon or so of chili oil. In my little spice bowl, I have some ginger, and that's ground ginger, the powdered ginger. I have some onion powder and I have some garlic powder. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle that on. I also here have some soy sauce. We're going to use some soy sauce, and I've got some salt and pepper. And guys, this is all you need to make that taste fabulous. Okay guys, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cookie tray, right? And this is one of the half cookie trays. And I'm going to put a little bit of the chili oil on the tray. And this is really just to season it. I'm going to put a little pinch of the salt and pepper. All right, guys. Then I'm going to put that right on top. Okay, guys? All right. From here, I'm going to add the rest of the chili oil, and if you were doing the whole fillet, you'd need a bit more oil than this. All right, guys. Okay. I'm gonna rub that in. And it's not that hot. It really isn't that hot. You've got several flavors going on here. You've got sweet, salty, and hot, which is, that's me in a nutshell. Okay, I'm going to add some of the soy sauce, but I'm gonna add it slowly, guys, like that, and rub it in. Rub it in gently. And that's because the salmon, the actual meat of the salmon, it can be a little bit fragile, yeah? So we're gonna rub that in, nice and gentle like. And from there, I'm going to add my spices. Just sprinkle those on. And the same thing, gonna gently rub it, pat it in. Again, this wouldn't have been enough to really do the complete fillet. All right, you'd need a little bit more than what you see here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna add just a tad more. See, just a tad more. And I'm gonna add me salt and pepper. Gonna add my salt and pepper. Okay. And to remember that the soy sauce is salty, and also the actual glaze is salty as well. Okay guys, that is all done. I've just washed my hands actually. Now, if you are ready to cook the salmon, what you would do is when you start this process of applying the rub to the salmon, you would actually turn your grill on and you would remove the rack in the oven so that your cookie sheet with your salmon sits 6 inches away from the burner. Any closer to that, you're gonna actually burn the salmon before it actually cooks. So make sure that the rack's on and you turn your broiler to high. Okay, you turn your broiler to high. If you're not ready to use this, like I'm not ready to use this now, I'm actually going to put this in the refrigerator, and I'm not going to allow it to marinate for an extended period of time. It will most probably be about an hour, which is good enough for salmon. You don't want to detract away from the actual salmon itself, the flavor of the salmon. And if you allow a marinade to stay on too long, sometimes that's what can happen. So guys, I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. And when we get to the stage of putting the glaze on, I will be right back. Okay, here we go, and it's done. And you see you got a few little charred spots, which actually just adds to the overall taste. All right guys, we're going to move this onto a plate for serving. I'm going to actually just sprinkle some, watch how it starts popping. I'm going to sprinkle some of you, put some of you here, just give it some colour, add some colour, which is very needed. Put a piece of lemon, put a piece of lemon, put a piece of lemon, put you there, you there. Yeah guys, and that's it. That's it. That is my, and really it is a signature dish for me. That's my grilled salmon, and it is truly a signature dish. It tastes absolutely phenomenal. People do ask me for this and to make this if they're coming for dinner, and they eat seafood. They definitely ask me for this. Bon appetit! Come on, guys. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat.